Das heißt, ich muss mir jetzt merken, dass Thelma hier oben ist und nicht mehr da im Krankenhaus? Gut, wir werden Thelma erst töten, wenn wir ihr was gegen die Kopfschmerzen gegeben haben. Warte mal, hier geht's doch irgendwo hoch. Ah, hier. Da den Pflock, den können wir austauschen. Der ist wesentlich besser als der andere. So. Thelma macht mir ein bisschen Kummer, wenn ich ehrlich bin. Und sie ist doppelt krank. Warum ist der dritte Hinweis eigentlich gesperrt bei Thelma? Was muss ich denn da machen? Ah, okay. Ich muss nochmal dann zurück ins Krankenhaus und sie dann fragen mit dem mit der Begegnung eines Vampirs. Gut, aber wir haben das jetzt schon mal abgeschlossen. Ma'am wird hoffentlich zurückgehen ins Krankenhaus. Dieser Schrei, habe ich was verpasst?
Easy does it, boys. We can deal with this. Burn it, we have to stop it.
Ah, ach so. Ja gut, ich habe mich schon so sehr dran gewöhnt, dass mir das gar nicht mehr auffällt. Ich bin verbrannt. Nein. Warum hört sich das eigentlich an wie eine Shotgun? Da kann man nicht öffnen, aber hier kann man öffnen. Halbe Kanone, ja.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it!
I won't end up another drunk arsehole in the streets. Not me.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
Warte mal, wo ist ein Albert Palmer? Muss gerade nur schnell suchen. Rakesh, Beatrice, Gwyneth, Selma. Ich glaube, ich muss das mal hier umdrehen. Pippa Hawk. Ah ja, Albert Palmer, da haben wir es doch. Da haben wir es doch. Solltet ihr Aykroyd töten? Aykroyd, hier, so. Richtig angeordnet. Aber, so, was können wir dir da entlocken für eine Info? Dieser junge Herr wird vor den Augen angeschossen. Sprecht auf Wahrheit über seine Person noch und sagt ihm, dass ihr hier das Problem sei, nicht Benjamin. Diesen Rennen sich ins besiegt das Biest. Versprechen der Nachwuchs.
Free? You may soon find out that you have simply traded one set of shackles for another.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I've a future here.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
Vielleicht hat er dich verwechselt.
Medication and drugs are a rare commodity in East London. So you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Finden Sie einen anderen Hinweisträger.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Okay.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Ich bin nicht gewalttätig. Ich habe nur gerade versucht, meinen Sohn zu erschießen.
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
Kann ich nicht machen.
I will see you. What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
Okay.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
90% sagen immer, ich bin unschuldig. Ich war's nicht.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Okay. Ah.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Nur ohne Alkohol, nur ohne, ja.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
Not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just failed me last nerve.
Ja, nur weil dir jemand den letzten Nerv raubt, heißt nicht, dass du ihn gleich töten musst.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Okay.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Naja, wenn ein Vampir einen Betrunkenen aussaugt, müsste er ja auch dann betrunken sein, weil er den Alkohol in seinem Blut ja ebenfalls hat. Also wäre so meine Vermutung. Also ich wäre der Meinung, er wäre da auch betrunken,
How
ja.
are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Und wieder mal war ich schneller, Mammutarte.
Goodbye, young man.
I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
So, jetzt müssten wir warten, bis Albert seinen Hintern bewegt. Und dann müssten wir rein eventuell den Hinweis finden. Nur wissen wir nicht, wann er sich in Bewegung setzen wird.
It's all a bloody joke to you, innit?
Warte mal.
Stealing drugs from the sick and suffering.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Ah, ja. Genau, ein Blutmitschuss, ja.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
Oder
The region itself
Kriegsveteran
is
mit Schuss.
something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Okay.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Okay.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Swanborough Elixier. Und den Rest
When
brauche ich ja nicht.
science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again. The Swanborough cordial can be the answer.
Ich würde nur wissen, wann der mal losläuft.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
Ah, da können wir da entlang laufen.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
Ich möchte nur gern Petreschku finden zuerst.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now, goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
F.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Genau. In der Nähe der Kirche. Die waren hier.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right? Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Okay.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Was gebe ich denn da als Antwort?
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Ah, wir haben zu ihr Dorothy verteilt kostenlos Medizin. Sehr schön. Den Hinweis haben wir. Handeln.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Können wir ebenfalls verkaufen. Clay's Bile. Ja, brauchen wir mal, ne? Schöne Kamee. Thomas Kreuz. Große Pillendose, okay. Dann sprechen wir mal mit Joe.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a
Piss
journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Das war die richtige Antwort, was auch immer ich gedrückt haben. Auch er hat den Hinweis bekommen. Oh, ich sehe schon die nächsten Opfer-Chat.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Wir müssen die halt nur noch heilen, ne? Also der ist zwar gesund, aber sieht gut aus, Chat, sieht gut aus.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Okay.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
I should never have taken up my father's business.
Ich weiß nicht, was er gerade lädt.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
Okay.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
So, was müssen wir da drücken? Trauer ist niemals leicht.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Dankeschön.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Aber wir kennen doch deinen Vater.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way.
Wie wir halt einfach lügen.
only pain and suffering in
Im Auftrag deines Vaters kümmere ich mich jetzt um dich. Aber erstmal loote ich.
It's locked, all right.
Ah, ja, wenn ich die töte, muss ich mir merken, dass hier ihr Absagebrief für die ehrliche Arbeit für Joe. Clarence Crossley. Immer erst looten, ganz genau. Na, irgendwie müssen wir auch unser Geld zusammenkriegen als Doktor, wenn wir schon fast freiwillig arbeiten. So, nachdem ich alles für meine Bezahlung gefunden habe und dich ausgeraubt habe, können wir über dein Leid jetzt endlich sprechen.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Erschöpfung. Ich habe aber nichts mehr für Erschöpfung, richtig? Ja.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Mein Vater ist ein Idiot und macht seltsame Dinge. Alles klar, der ist die Meinung echt positiv.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
Klare Antwort würde ich sagen, ja. Jetzt muss ich nur kurz gucken.